Hi, my name is Greg Kaufman. I'm from the AutoX division of QuestionPro, where we are exclusively focused on delivering voice of the customer insights to automotive dealerships and OEM manufacturers. Today, I'm here to tell you about a new product solution called DealerPulse that we're rolling out, which is a cost-effective turnkey solution that is designed to deliver real-time insights to the dealer direct. Now, this data serves to provide the dealer with an opportunity to triage these customers that may have had issues with their recent sales or service experience at the dealership. And because we deliver this insight in real time, the dealers will have the opportunity to re-engage with that customer and solve their problem before they have an opportunity to go out and say something negative on social media, or even before they get the corporate sponsored survey that typically comes about 7 to 10 days after the transaction. So why DealerPulse, right? In today's day and age, chip shortages, supply chain issues, there's still remnants from COVID. The customer journey with respect to how they engage with dealerships has really changed. And because of all these things, coupled with the fact that there is a higher employee churn rate than we've ever experienced at the dealerships. Now more than ever, it's imperative that the dealer has their ear to the ground, listening very carefully to what their customers' issues are. So not just having corporate, keep a barometer with the corporate surveys they send out, but for the dealers to actually be able to, in real time, understand how they can solve problems before things get out of hand. So, as I mentioned, dealers only have a few days to triage customers and solve their problems before a corporate survey is going to get sent out. And in addition, all the review sites, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, there are a slew of opportunities for customers to express how unhappy they are with an experience that they've had at your dealership, whether it be a new or used dealership. So what we have done, because of the fact that dealers are in many ways beholden to OEM expectations of the corporate survey that gets sent out, we have designed a solution for dealers to actually preempt and assuage concerns of customers prior to that survey being received from the corporate OEM. So as you know, there's typically a little bit of a gap between when an RDR and RO gets processed and a corporate survey gets sent to your customer. And because you at the dealership are oftentimes beholden to uphold corporate standards, KPIs, NPS threshold targets, it's imperative that you have a tool that you can bird dog some intel early and then have a little bit of a runway in order to actually ascertain what the issues are and get in touch with that customer and resolve their problem. So in addition to the corporate sponsored surveys, which oftentimes have incentive money tied to whether or not you meet your threshold targets, there are also syndicated studies such as the J.D. Power CSI and SSI, which are also being administered to customers. And here, having this opportunity to engage early, preempt, and assuage their concerns is going to bear fruit, not only for the corporate survey that comes in, but perhaps also if that customer happens to end up getting a syndicated survey from, for CSI or SSI. So here's what this looks like on a continuum if we just kind of overlay the process, right? On day one, your customer comes in, they trigger an RDR or an RO, for sales or for service. And then there's typically a bit of a lag in processing. Oftentimes corporate will give the dealer an opportunity to try to do the right thing and make sure that the customer is doing well before they're going to rate them on the corporate survey. So around days 7 or 10, generally based on my experience doing CX dealership programs, that corporate survey is going to come to your customer. And then, at some point further out in the future, they'll get a CSI or an SSI survey, which also matters a lot for the brand and for your dealership. So what's really important here to note is you have this very brief window where you can actually engage with the customer and learn from the customer in real time to give you about a 7 to 10 day runway in order to determine which customers have problems that need fixing. And of course, you will be provided the tool by QuestionPro AutoX to facilitate a follow-up and a closed loop situation for that customer before they receive the survey and before obviously they would receive the syndicated survey. So DealerPulse essentially arms you with real-time triage tools. It's a turnkey solution. Everything is pre-built, as I will be showing here in just a moment when I conduct a quick demo. The Quick Pulse survey is designed to be very brief. It's under 2 minutes to complete for your customer, and it's going to empower you to basically understand exactly which customers are happy and which customers are unhappy. Now, we've created a kind of a parsed bucketing system based on the logic within the Quick Pulse survey in order to determine happy customers get redirected to a review website of your preference, whether that is Google reviews or Dealer Rater, whatever the case might be. If there's a specific site you're looking to bolster reviews, we would redirect your promoters to that website. On the other hand, those customers who are unhappy, they are going to be invited to opt in for a quick, kind of touch base with the dealer to empower somebody from your dealership to get back in touch with them in really short order and do the best you can to solve their problems. And our research has actually shown that even if you proactively reach out to a customer and attempt to resolve their issue, even if you're not successful in actually solving that problem altogether, the fact that you reached out and made effort is still going to bode very well for you and very likely reflect in your impending corporate surveys that are coming in, as well as the syndicated CSI and SSI. Okay, so the first thing everyone thinks is, oh, our customers receive so many surveys, not another survey. But I'm here to tell you that it's imperative that although there are quite a few surveys going on, who they're sponsored by, how the data is being used, the time intervals in which they are deployed to your customer varies. And it's important to have the right tool for the job. So as I noted a little bit earlier, we've got the syndicated surveys, for example, JD Power, CSI, SSI. These are OEM subscribed competitive surveys comparing automotive brands for ranking purposes. These surveys results are used to determine who wins trophies, who gets to put commercials out based on, best in class for various segments, so on and so forth. Then you've got the OEM sponsored survey, which I mentioned earlier. These are typically administered 7 to 10 days after the transaction. And these vary as well. They're much more in-depth. They're longer surveys. These are the surveys that are typically being used as a scorecard with your dealer to make sure that you're upholding the brand standards. And again, dealer incentive plans are often tied to OEM surveys. So wouldn't it be great if the dealer had their own sponsored tool where they can, in real time, literally the moment the customer checks out and leaves your dealership, ensuring that you have a quick survey in their inbox? That's what DealerPulse is going to provide. It's a much more chiseled approach to understanding how you can tactically resolve each and every one of your customers in real time prior to them, doing those things I mentioned earlier. So these are very high engagement because the personnel at the dealership at the time of, checking out and making payment for an oil change, or at the time of vehicle delivery, your associate is going to, let the customer know that, hey, by the time you get to your car, you're going to have a really quick survey sitting in your inbox. It'd mean the world to us if you would fill that out so we could just learn how to serve your needs better. Okay. And so this is a complete turnkey solution that we built out so that nobody at the dealership has to lift a finger. Nobody has to design a survey. Nobody has to determine, okay, how do we engage with the customer? Nobody has to build out dashboards and reporting. We've done all of that for you with DealerPulse and created a really streamlined workflow that aligns back specifically to the dealership.